Can Ahsoka rekindle the Star Wars magic? Can Zack Snyder make a good Star Wars fan film? And can One Piece eliminate the awful streak of anime adaptations? All that on today's episode of Breaking Geek Radio.
Hello and welcome to Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast, the premier, flagship, and international podcast of LRM Online and the Genreverse Podcast Network. I'm your host, Brandon Jones, and with me this week, I've got a cavalcade of folks to talk about all those things that Jammer mentioned. Folks, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yes, my name is Jammer. I am the other host of this wonderful episode of Breaking Geek the Radio, the podcast. And
you only think it's wonderful because we're talking about One Piece, you fucker.
I am so excited. You know what's even more exciting is that we're going to talk about One Piece next week.
Does it come out next week?
Yes, it comes out next week.
Hope.
So I'm not expecting you to watch all 8 episodes, but we're going to cover all 8 episodes.
Yeah, you are. Don't lie. Don't lie.
No, it's going to be the first episode. And next week, we're covering the entire show. This is like weeks on weeks on weeks on One Piece. Here on Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast. I'm so excited. All right, sorry. Everyone else can introduce yourselves.
I'm Kirsten Michelle. I have to deal with that.
You do. Yeah.
No, you don't.
That's fair. That's a choice. We're in America. This is 2023. You can do whatever you want. You can leave any moment.
That's right.
You just walk out the door, leave the house in my name. I'll take all the animals.
Oh my god.
You know
That's right.
People like options. People love options. And I'm Laurice Jones, the other half of Jonesy. Jonesy's the better half.
Yes.
I don't know.
So this is a big day, Jonesy.
Is it?
You've been looking forward to Ahsoka.
I have been looking forward to Ahsoka.
Everyone in this house is looking forward to Ahsoka.
So I have fallen off the Star Wars bandwagon pretty hard. I was done dirty by Obi-Wan Kenobi. I haven't looked back. It left such a bad taste in my mouth. I couldn't even push through the slowness of the first episode of Andor, even though I hear it's fantastic and I'm sure it's great. And then also, I didn't even bother with Mando season 3 because I just did not care at that point. And it's literally what it was is the only thing that you said was just like, I want to cover Ahsoka. So I was like, I guess we're covering Ahsoka, though I didn't realize there were 2 episodes, so we only watched the first episode.
So I Nick called you.
What do you mean?
Nick was like, I will never watch XYZ and blah blah blah. Hey, we're covering it for the podcast. Like, fuck. That was Nick. It was like yes. Half or a third of everything that Nick watched. He's like, I wouldn't have watched this, but for the podcast. Like, that's right.
There you go.
So we got you. We got you, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. I'm just gonna keep saying it. I love the quote.
But did you get me? Did you get me? That's the question. So let's talk some spoiler-free.
I mean, I guess the real question is, did Ahsoka get you? So, set after the fall of the Jedi Empire, Ahsoka follows former Jedi Knight Ahsoka Tano as she investigates an emerging threat to a vulnerable galaxy. Ahsoka sits at an 88% and an 84% split between the critics and the audience. Do we agree? Let's find out. Who wants to go first and give their non-spoiler impressions of, I guess? Or so we're just doing the first episode? Or we're just doing...
I mean, you could do the second episode. We're just doing the first episode, though. So
Okay. All right. Who wants to go first? Who wants to volunteer as tribute?
I'll volunteer as tribute, I guess. I liked it. It was pretty good so far for the first episode. It was better than I wanted. It was better than I thought it was going to be, but it still had some of the issues that, Mandalorian had. A little slow. I also got this distinct feeling that I was supposed to be feeling like the band was getting back together, but I didn't know the band, so it didn't mean anything to me. But yeah, I like the visual. I like the visual style it has. It's sparse, but it's really sort of stylized. It has a very emphasis on like silhouettes of things and landscape. I just thought it was pretty beautiful, actually. And it was fun to watch, entertaining. I like the music, and it has me intrigued. If I had time yesterday, I would have watched the second episode.
Okay.
So I think so far it's probably
if you had time or if you knew that there was another episode.
If I had time, because we just didn't have time last night.
Oh, okay. I thought you didn't know there was another.
Because literally we turned it on like an hour before we normally go to bed, and then we're just like, oh, there's 2 episodes, not 1. Didn't realize that.
To be clear, we turned it on 30 minutes before we normally go to bed.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. 30 minutes before going to bed. 54-minute episodes, a 40-minute episode. Ain't nobody had time for that. So yeah, I would have continued.
Okay. Who's next?
I have to agree with Jammer, especially with the visuals. I think that was probably the best part of it for me was just seeing her exist, Ahsoka especially, like exist in this world. I think they did a really good job with the costumes and making everybody look like the characters as well. So I think that kind of goes along with the visuals. It was kind of slow for me too. It was off to kind of a slow start, although I will trudge on. And we made it through the second one without me falling asleep. So that is a good thing.
There you go.
Because it was also pretty close to our bedtime. Well, yeah, it was fairly close to bedtime when we watched, when we finally finished the second episode. So it kept me awake and entertaining enough to keep me awake through the second
Ringing
episode.
Endorsement. It kept me awake. They should put that on like the
box,
the Twitter ads,
the eventual physical release. Kirsten, what did you think? Pre bedtime viewing of Star Wars did what for you?
I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It also kept me awake, which actually was saying something because I was really tired. No, I don't know. I think because I also have struggled a lot with a lot of the Star Wars shows. I think they've been really plodding, and just kind of they're slow and nothing's really happening. But I thought it was really beautiful and I liked the characters. I want to know more about the characters. I had the same sense where it was like, I feel like I'm supposed to know things and they're like throwing in a lot of back information into the dialogue, which is making it dialogue a little bit awkward. But it kept me awake. I will watch the second episode, which at this point for a Star Wars show is saying something, because I was like, I have not been interested in a lot of Star Wars shows.
Yeah. I just think for like all the Star Wars shows, Mandalorian and Ahsoka especially, they spend so much time with characters just doing things and taking a long time. Like that opening scene with Ahsoka going into like that tomb thing, she spent like 5 minutes shining lights, and I'm like, bitch, do something else, please.
Thank you. What's funny about that?
You, Jammer, thank you so much on that. No joke. So yes, yeah. I also
funny?
complain
I have
about
a note.
that.
I didn't complain about it because what I immediately thought was like Ahsoka is doing very Jedi Fallen Order type stuff right now. So like all of this like twisting the thing, doing the puzzle, like
I'm not playing a video game.
The video game. I know you're not, but I'm saying like that's what I immediately thought of.
My only thing was I don't mind there being these cinematic, lingering shots, and we talked about this on the Cantina here on the Genreverse Podcast Network and YouTube channel, but it was that every time we came to a new character, we had to do the same thing. Like everyone got their cinematic, slow introduction, one after another. So you come in, except for that intro scene, that first intro scene was pretty hype, but you come in, new character, slow down, speed back up, slow down for the next one, speed, and it was too much.
Yeah, it was and a lot of people holding that little map thing. I got so sick of people holding that orb, just like looking at. I'm just like, I don't put it away. I don't want to see it right now. I don't want to see that orb.
Like watching people fondle balls.
I don't. Sorry,
like
Kirsten.
You have to watch. Just close your eyes. So I guess for my thoughts of it, I thought it was a pretty strong start to the series. It was really weird. As I was doing research for the episode, I saw some of the criticisms of like, oh, it's a sluggish start. But they like in the introduction to their review, they were talking about, well, it's not as good as Andor. And it's like, well, Andor is one of the slowest of burns I've ever fucking seen. So it's really weird to me that is your comparison when you're talking about the show, about how slow it is. But I thought it was a strong start, just like everybody else here. I'm going to say that like I thought it was gorgeous. They definitely spent money on this. Like they have conversations about, the crunch that's happening over at Marvel and all this other stuff, and you can kind of see the tearing. I couldn't see any tearingness from the costumes to the space stuff to like it looked gorgeous to me. Like the little Loth cat, Sabine's pet, was super
so
cute. And
little
and
Muppet.
it went between
Cute.
yeah, I couldn't
cute.
tell at times if it was always a Muppet for a CGI. Like it felt like it was going between the two, but did so seamlessly. So I was really into that. I think if I had a criticism, it's not the speed of it. It was the fact that I think while Rosario Dawson inhabits the character well, she is much flatter than Ashley Eckstein, who played her in Rebels and Clone Wars. And so if you've never watched either of those, you're not coming to this with that baggage. And Rosario Dawson's performance is like, oh, she's just like every other Jedi we've ever seen. But if you've watched all that other stuff, you know that Ahsoka is not like every other Jedi that you've ever seen. And she's what?
I hate that it feels like it's funneling me to their content that I already tried and didn't like.
Whatever, baby. And so that's the thing that I'm trying to reconcile. But other than that, I really enjoyed it, and I'm curious. I'm glad that people like you all, who did not really consume all the other content, liked it. And I'm going to say some more stuff about Andor, because I think this conversation about comparing the two is really interesting, and I'm going to put a bookmark in it. But I'm going to say, I hope you guys remember this. It's the fact that people don't watch Andor. Like, for as great as everyone says that it is the least watched of all of the Star Wars shows, to include Boba Fett. So I think it's really frustrating for everyone to say like, well, I mean, this is really sluggish and it's not Andor, but Andor, I don't want to say failed because it's going to get another season, but kind of failing.
I mean, they shot the seasons back to back, so they didn't have a choice. They went all in on Andor.
Yeah. But just nobody's watching it. So all of that said, let's do letter grades and get into spoilers. I'm going to start with a B+. I thought this is like a very solid start to me. I would like to see more. I have some theories about some stuff that I saw, and I'm curious how it's going to shake out. And I think that those things are going to color how that letter grade goes up or down.
Yeah, I think I'd probably give it a B+ too, probably for different reasons. Like, I actually thought of Ahsoka's character in this as being a little bit older, more mature than the characters from the character from the cartoons. So that didn't really bother me as much as some of the other characters. And we can talk about that in the spoilers, but I will give it a B+. Yeah, I liked it.
For me, I think I'll give it a B-. It was a bit slow for me. And you talk about, oh, I have theories. You may have, I don't even know what to have theories about, because I feel like nothing happened that first episode. It was entertaining, but I feel like nothing happened. Map stuff happened.
Which maybe is because we didn't see the
happened.
second half of the first episode.
Wait, what?
Ooh.
You mean the second half, the second episode?
The second episode.
Well, yeah, like
Right.
Exactly.
But it is
second half
like
of the
second
premiere.
half.
Yeah,
it
second
feels,
half of the premiere.
When you see it, Jammer, it feels like one complete episode they broke in half.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like the storytelling from Andor. So with Andor, I think there were 9 episodes. 3 episodes of Andor were an arc. So this feels like 2 episodes were an arc. And
you just wanted to talk about Andor again.
Yeah, no, you just had to do it.
I just it has really interesting parallels to me. But yeah,
I would give it a B. That's
B?
where
Okay.
I am at.
One thing I'll say about the visuals again, I think one thing I want to point out is there was that scene where Sabine Wren was going down the freeway. Hi, Jobin. Where Sabine was going down the freeway, and it was very clearly fake, but it didn't bother me because I feel like they did like a Nintendo thing where the world itself is so stylized it doesn't matter when it looks fake, which I think is kind of cool.
You know what that
It
scene was straight
reminded me
out
of
of?
Maverick.
No,
Was it Maverick?
So that
Was-
was one.
Oh, Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun
Top
Maverick.
Gun Maverick. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All of
not,
them.
Not the old show Maverick. Starring Andy
No.
Griffith.
No, Top Gun.
No, you know what that scene is straight out of? That's out of 2009 Star Trek. That's when the cops are chasing Kirk and the Beastie Boys
100%.
music is playing.
100%. That's what came to my mind
like,
too.
Yeah. So I liked it. It was a fun. I'm curious if the illusion was on purpose, but I liked it. And Larice, what you're saying about her age, like I agree. I attributed it to her age, but that's also me making an assumption based off of something I haven't seen. So from a story perspective, they haven't shown me why she went from being how she was in Rebels to how we are here. And so I'm forced to do one of two things: fill in that gap and make it like, oh, well, she's just aged into this character, or B, wait for them to explain why she's become this way.
Yeah.
That's kind of
from my perspective. I'm just like, she better get a personality soon. That's what I'm thinking. Because she doesn't
her personality
have
was
right
just
now.
like grumpy mom. I feel like she was like the mom of the other characters and just like
it's boring though. She's not really a Jedi.
I think
she
that's
left.
why it's
so
hard.
Like, she's
yeah.
things.
That's
Bro,
why. And
have a personality, please.
That's why I struggle with it, because if there isn't a reason, she is just for no apparent reason become every other Jedi we've met. And I would hate for that to be true. So I'm waiting for the story to kind of fill in, especially this rift between her and Sabine, right? I feel like that will do a lot to fill that gap. She's this way because blah, blah, blah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing. So I gather from this conversation that you guys haven't watched a substantial portion of Rebels. I think, Larice, you have.
We watched like 4 episodes and I was like, this is not for me. I'll just say that. Not for me.
So this is going to be a thing that's going to drive Kyle nuts. It is very childlike in the beginning.
Yes. I
but
hate
it gets
no
better.
I hate like I was actively hating the shows I watched
Avatar
it
too.
What I hate about this so much is that as I was watching, I was like, this is cool. They want me to go back and watch Clone Wars. They want me to go back and watch Rebels. But like, I feel they want me to have watched this when I was 5, but it came out when I was 25. So it really doesn't mean any, like, I can't do it, Disney. I can't do it.
You would have had to do one of two things. Either I needed to care about the prequel era stuff to begin with,
I don't.
Which I completely don't. Or,
sorry, Zers.
Or you would have to at least have the animation and tone of the show appealing to me from the get-go. And I hate Filoni's animation style, both on Clone Wars and Rebels. I think it's disgustingly ugly.
I remember,
I hate saying that about
who did
art
that animation
because someone
right?
really worked hard on it. But it is.
Arcane.
I hate it.
Gindi.
I thought Arcane was going to be like that, but then I watched Arcane and I was like, oh, Arcane's actually, that's how I wanted the Rebels and the Clone Wars animation to be, was like, it was an Arcane, but it wasn't.
Well, you know what's funny? There is a scene that is straight out of the last episode of Rebels that appears in here. And it is, I think it is supposed to be the same scene. They're like, it's like one of those, like, spot the 5 differences between this, but otherwise they're the same scene. And just to confirm it, I went back and watched the last episode of Rebels. And I said to Larice, like, this looks rough. Like, it does, like, the animation, to your point, Jammer, is just like, it is. Like, when
you know what it
Sabine
feels
is
like?
Walking, it's like, ooh.
The character movements feel like they're out of Final Fantasy IX with like the way they jump.
Yep.
Like the walk cycle, it looks awful. I'm sorry, animators. I'm sure you did the best you could, but Jesus, I hate it.
Yeah.
Did they?
Sabine walked away
they
like
did the best what they could. I know a lot of animators, they work very hard under very difficult conditions, very limited budgets. They don't make a lot of money, but they sure do their best.
What did Sabine have up her butt then?
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like she was walking like she has shit in her pants. Yeah, it was very awkward.
It's bad.
In the cartoon.
In the cartoon,
yeah. The last episode of a relatively recent Star Wars show. It's like, girl, you got mud butt. What's going on there?
Seriously,
maybe that was a part of her character.
I mean,
maybe.
Constipated is that part of her character?
Doesn't sound like she's constipated. It sounds like she got some. She looks like she succeeded and just is walking in her pants.
It was bad.
It was a classy episode. Thank you for bringing the class, Larice.
So wait, you guys didn't? Damn it! So Chopper, I think you guys missed Chopper, right? You guys didn't.
I love
see
Chopper.
You didn't see him.
He's just the cutest.
What?
So cute.
No, the droid. I hate you. You guys. Oh,
What?
this is a One
did you
Piece
say?
joke. Fuck you.
It's
a
an
One Piece
character
joke.
from One Piece.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So there's a droid in here. I really wish you guys got to the second episode because you get to see this droid, and it's really frustrating watching something like all of the sequel trilogy where they're trying to do this. Like BB-8 was fine, but they try to introduce a couple of other droids and give them some personality and all this other stuff. Chopper has all of the personality you ever need. Like he curses, he swears, and he's just fucking great. Like he's cursing out Hera, and he's like, "Did you go through my stuff?" Like he's just like going at her while they're in the middle of this battle. I hope I'm not overselling it, but like watching the two of them interact, it just brought joy to my heart. It was a lot of fun. He has more personality than I think like all of the three main characters put together. Like it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We absolutely need more of whatever the little cats are, and we need more Chopper.
Loth cats.
Give me all the Chopper and all the Loth cats. They totally sold the show.
That scene with Chopper Jonesy, it really did show off to me, at least. I'm curious to what you others think. Hera was kind of like the flattest, most kind of like the, I don't want to say worst, but the worst of everyone. Okay. Like
you could say, worst.
You know what I'm saying?
She's the worst.
Is it coming out right? What did you think?
She's the worst. I think of everyone, she was the flattest, but
who's the worst?
I haven't seen the
Who's Hera?
Hera.
The green one.
The green one.
The green one with the tentacles.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I saw her and I was like, is that Mary Elizabeth Winstead? Yeah, she is weird. Yeah. It's flat. I'm like, you're a good actor. What are you doing being flat?
Yeah.
It's
Star Wars, baby.
Flat.
It's Star Wars. That's the thing. Yeah, she also does.
What's that?
I feel like her acting is like flat, and not in a bad way, but that's just how she acts.
Her characters are like that.
Flat. Yeah, like I'm thinking of Birds of Prey. Like she was flat and awkward and weird.
Awkward. I don't know if I call her flat. I'd call her awkward.
I mean, her flat and awkward is kind of like spectrum-y almost. Like it is just like that interesting affectation. And so I agree.
I didn't feel any. She tried to show different emotions, and but I didn't actually feel them when she's trying to be motherly.
She wasn't acting.
Yeah, when she's sitting there trying to be motherly for Ahsoka and the Sabine situation, you don't really feel anything from it whatsoever. When she's in the argument with Chopper, it feels really one-sided. It almost feels like she's just reading lines for him to respond to at times, and that was a bit rough.
So yeah, I guess here's the problem: is literally Dave Filoni has so much respect for the prequels that you kind of feel that in the performances and some of the dialogue of some of the prequel stuff.
That's what I said. It's like my answer was like it's Star Wars. And Dave Filoni, to your point, I have heard him do this explanation. So when The Mandalorian was new, he and the producers, and it was like him and Favreau and Kennedy, they were all sitting around a table and a couple other people talking about the prequels. And he did this breakdown of Phantom Menace. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, wait a minute. What the fuck? That's not what I saw, right?
He's
I understand,
gaslighting you.
He was gaslighting me. Like, I understand, like, that was the intent. And that was like kind of what was the intended plot behind it and the thought process. That wasn't the execution. So good on you, Filoni, for like drinking the sauce. You almost had me. Sauce, Kool-Aid, Star Wars sauce.
Kool-Aid. Sauce would have been weird. I had a
Blue
weird
milk.
visual.
Blue milk.
Drinking the blue milk. There you go.
I
know we've been going long, Kyle, right? Have we been going long? We've been going pretty freaking long,
too long.
I feel like, and we haven't even split this up into spoilers and non-spoilers.
Well, I mean, I kind of marked it as spoilers.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay,
ago.
Just making sure. Keep going, Jonesy.
So I'm gonna throw this one theory out there, and I guess we could move on. So we haven't seen Ezra in the show except for this hologram thing. There is a character whose name is Marok. He is one of the 3 bad Sith, because they don't call themselves Sith. He doesn't speak. And so I was talking to Danny about this, and I was like, I think that might be Ezra. Now, how they, if that is him, how they explain it could make or break the show. Because he's supposed to be where Thrawn is. And if they F up that explanation of why either Ahsoka couldn't sense him or like why he was fighting them, like any of that other stuff, they could really mess up the show. But I was curious, did you guys, I know you've only seen one episode. What did you think? Or Larice, having seen both, what does that theory do for you?
Yeah, I think that it could definitely make or break the show. And because I tossed around in my head, I guess, the idea that maybe he could be undercover or he could be like could have amnesia. I think that this either one of them would kind of be crappy.
Well, the first one's okay. The amnesia one I don't like.
I don't like the amnesia one, but it lends itself to like the predictability of some of the things that I saw in the first and/or second episode, where little actions by the characters were just super predictable. And I'm like, if I predict this, I'm going to be really disappointed. Like if any of the things that I think are going to happen actually happen, I'll be really upset about it. And it would totally ruin the show for me. So I really hope I'm wrong. I hope it's not amnesia. I hope he's not actually like deep undercover, because he was like fighting with Ahsoka pretty hard. Like he was going at a whole bunch of people like real hard. So I'd be kind of upset if that's the case. But from what we've seen already, my B+ like includes some of the stuff that I thought was super predictable, like Sabine taking the little orb thing out of Ahsoka's ship, and I was like,
man, this isn't Hercule Poirot or who's the guy?
Benoit Blanc.
Yeah, it's not one of those. Listen, this is Star Wars, baby. There's no like super deep whodunit type stuff that happens in the Star Wars universe. What you see is what you get.
Tell that to Filoni.
Does he think it's a mystery box within a mystery box?
I have no idea.
Or are we just talking about J.J. Abrams?
It's an onion.
Here's a wayfinder. How'd you get that lightsaber? It's a story for another day that'll never fucking come. So anyway, just curious what you guys thought about that.
So wait, did Ezra fight Ahsoka? Did we see that in the second episode?
Who's Ezra?
I missed that.
Ezra was that guy that was in the hologram that Sabine Wren was watching. He's also, I know, the main character in Rebels, Star Wars Rebels. So
yeah, I was like, none of this means anything to me.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, right? So not having ingested all of that content, that reveal,
I hate
that
it.
will have
I hate it. I hate how they made those things important. Making them important in retrospect. I was living on my little movie Star Wars island, live action island, perfectly content to just say, "Hey, I'm just going to consume live action. I'm never going to go back." Filoni, I will never watch your animated shows. I'm sorry.
He never made the Feige promise, right? Feige was like, you don't have to watch these TV shows to understand what's going on. Filoni never said that shit. He's just sitting in the back like, ha, 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 ha.
So do a better job of making me feel like I'm not missing shit, please.
But I think that's going to be a big deal, right? If it turns out to be Ezra. This is way out there.
Totally.
That reveal will mean nothing for you guys, right? Like it will have next to no visual impact or emotional impact unless they're able to do something within the context of the show to make it meaningful. And I kind of worry about that.
Yeah. I do too. Because my entire liking the show depends on it, as opposed to you, where you have the context of everything else.
If that conversation, right? If him saying like, "Oh yeah, we're like brother and sister," is like all they've got that's gonna make you feel something.
She got friend-zoned so hard via hologram. I'm just saying right now. I was just like,
I wondered about that. I was like, ooh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I get the feeling she watches that every year.
She basically what was it, Baron Zemo, is it, where she just like listens to the same voicemail every day while sitting sad in a cafe or in a cantina.
It was sad. It was really sad.
It was sad. It was lost. It was real sad. What else you guys got to say about it? Anything?
Nada.
Nothing else. All right. I'm looking forward to see the rest. I'm hoping this slow burn turns into a fire, and I hope they're able to create some emotional connections within the context of the show in and of itself that don't rely on having to have viewed the animated series. Because that's
I wonder if I would. Part of me also knows I know all these existing, or I know about these existing relationships, and I wonder if I just knew nothing. Like if I literally didn't know that they existed, if I would feel like I was missing out on as much, because maybe I'm being too harsh on it.
I literally, as someone who like, I know that they exist. I know nothing. And like I said, I feel like it was more of like, you could just tell they were throwing so much background into the dialogue because they want you to know all of this stuff in the first episode. It just felt a little awkward. But I haven't thought about, I didn't know who the fuck Ezra was. I didn't think about that. So, I don't know. Okay. I have no idea what half of this stuff you're talking about is. There was lightsabers.
You can find the highlights on YouTube somewhere, I'm sure.
Ooh,
I'm planning on watching this blind.
Refuse.
Okay.
So Filoni, I refuse. I will not consume any of your cartoons,
well,
sir.
We are going to be the people that watch it blind and say whether or not that works.
Ooh, a blind taste test. I like it.
Yeah.
This
is the hill I'm going to needlessly die on. I'm going to Nick Doll this one.
No, you're not. It's not needlessly, right? You're doing it for the podcast.
Sure.
All right. Let's move on. We've got some.
Let's move on from one Star Wars thing to another Star Wars thing. All right.
Which one are we doing? Are we doing the reaction or are we doing the One Piece?
Rebel Moon.
All right, we're doing it. Let's do it. I don't know which order. Yeah. We didn't talk about this. There was no discussion.
I was trying to do a clean transition, Jones. You got to roll with my transition.
It was perfectly clean.
You set it up.
So, for those who don't know, many years ago, there was a rumor that Zack Snyder pitched Seven Samurai, but in Star Wars world, to the folks at Lucasfilm. That did not happen. So instead, he took his ball, he went to his mansion, and he turned it into a Star Wars fan fiction film, except he just scraped off the serial numbers, turned it into Rebel Moon, which he sold to Netflix. And Netflix has just released the first trailer for this space opera epic. And we're here to react live for your viewing pleasure. Are you all ready to play this trailer? Yeah.
I have a question. Wait, not Hidden Samurai is the Kurosawa film that
Seven Samurai.
Star Wars.
There's also Hidden Fortress. Hidden Fortress is what you're talking about.
Is the original Star Wars based on No. But I'm saying, wasn't the original one based on Kurosawa, and I thought it was Hidden Fortress.
It is Hidden Fortress.
Right, okay. Because I was going to say, wouldn't it be weird if you pitched them their own content? Like, hey, I'm going to make you like a Seventh Samurai thing. It's like, what? We did that.
But they also did do that in Mandalorian, season 1.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I'm not
that one Bryce Dallas Howard episode. Wait, Bryce Dallas Howard? Okay. Yeah, that's right. Episode.
Sure, that one. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, play. On play, we press play. Y'all ready?
Okay. Yes.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, play. Ooh, Netflix logo. Shiny, metallic.
Ooh.
It's
Lothal. It's Gladiator.
You know what's funny? I always remember Zack Snyder saying that he doesn't use slow motion that
much.
Thor
3. Yes, he does. All the time.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's Dune again.
Myth she was called the Redeemer. It was said this child would stop the madness of war.
Oh.
That she was
hello.
A new age of peace and compassion.
Gladiator again. Is it weird that we're seeing Gladiator illusions in Jaimin Hansu's like right there?
I will never see.
Was he in Gladiator?
Loyalty to a king I cannot serve.
I don't know you.
A glove for a
That's right. You refused to watch Gladiator. Forgot about that.
I could not save.
I'm watching with you guys. I haven't seen this either.
Is that Sophia Boutella?
Yes.
I wonder what happened to her a while ago.
Oh, that's straight out of we already talked about it. Firefly. Yeah.
That looked rough.
child of war.
This Scar Giver?
That love is weakness.
That sounded like it.
Scargiver.
It's a stupid name.
I do like the visuals. I will say they look very
The
pretty.
visuals are pure Zack Snyder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but some of this CG is
Giant
rough.
spider woman.
Do you think so? I think the CG's pretty good.
Yeah, it looks
Nothing
good.
stood out to me.
Stylized.
One moment. Shh. One moment.
do love this part.
Hold on.
I don't want no trouble.
We're not here to bring
Ooh,
any.
you don't want no trouble.
Are you ready?
No.
I boast no fear. Let's show them that we're not afraid. Let's show them
Griffins.
we're more than the shackles that bind us.
It's Harry Potter.
Like How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, I agree. There are actually not enough Griffins on film.
There's not enough Griffins in Star Wars.
Yeah.
A king
Totally.
is a man, and a man can fail. But a myth is indestructible.
Is that Anthony Hopkins doing the voiceover?
I was gonna say that's
I
yeah.
think you're right.
Yeah, it is.
The time has come for all that you love. Protect each other and show them no mercy.
Yeah, no mercy.
Is that the guy from Sons of
Dude,
Anarchy?
those eye things are cool.
Yes, Charlie Hunnam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Who among you is willing to die for what you believe?
Not me.
Ragtag group of people doing stuff.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Part 1?
Oh.
Oh, no.
Boo. Boo.
Seriously? Yeah, no.
You gotta do.
Zack
do
Snyder's
in
like, I couldn't
multiple
keep it under
parts.
8 hours, guys. We're gonna release
That's
it in
my
two
fear.
4-hour.
That's
Oh,
my
God.
fear.
Oh my
And in
god.
5 years from now, we're going to be here bitching about the Snyder cut of Rebel Moon. Fuck off.
Oh my god.
Well, clearly Rebel Moon. Clearly Netflix is just letting Snyder do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
they let
it
him
wouldn't
make
have
an
been-
8-hour movie, probably.
I mean,
They need
seriously.
that content.
I love the way it looks.
I don't understand
When
what that was
don't
about.
you look? But Snyder films
It
always
looks-
look great. Like that's the thing you
Yeah,
have
I
to
know.
worry the least about.
That's true.
Remember Sucker Punch?
But yeah.
Looked amazing. Complete
I like
dog
Sucker
shit.
Punch.
I actually kind of like
Sucker
Sucker Punch.
Oh my god.
I was going to rephrase
can't
that. I
hate
like
both
the
of them.
non-action scenes of Sucker Punch. I'm a Zack Snyder apologist. I like Sucker Punch. I like it whenever there's not a needless action scene in that movie because those action scenes were pointless. But the rest of the movie I actually liked.
The
I
ending
would've
bugged
liked it
me.
if it
I feel like
wasn't-
they should have.
Yeah. I got to a
I
point in that
can't
movie
say, but-
where
We should
if it
watch
had
the
just
extended
been-
cut of that. The Zack
No,
Snyder
I hate
cut
you.
of that
No,
movie.
No.
There is an extended cut of every movie he has.
No.
So this
There's
trailer,
only one good one though. Watchmen and oh, actually, no, I take that back.
there's
Justice
like 3
League, but
cuts
that
of
doesn't
Watchmen.
count, right? I don't think Justice League counts because that was not.
What do you mean? What does that
the-
mean?
the because it was Joss Whedon's, and then he. Took
Oh,
over. So I
gotcha,
almost feel like
gotcha,
that one
gotcha.
doesn't count.
No, that's
fair.
To me,
Yeah.
Watchmen is definitely my favorite. But I'm sorry,
Which version?
go ahead. The longest one, which
The
is
longest
whichever
one?
the one is like. Yeah, I
The
love
one with
longest one.
that pointless comic in that came in the what was the stupid comic that was in the freaking comic? What was
The
it?
Black-
that
Black
ship?
Freighter?
Oh
the Black
yeah,
Freighter?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I love the Black Freighter." This thing's boring as fuck. Y'all need to
It's boring.
sit down.
It doesn't translate.
No,
Okay,
it doesn't.
so-
It didn't work well in the comic. Period. I don't understand people.
It's an
So
analogy.
did anyone understand what Rebel Moon was about? Because that trailer just felt like
So
scene
I
after
think
scene
that
after scene.
I think there is a kingdom and a king who wants like this one planet. And
There was a
there's
king. I
these
saw that.
These people on the planet who are like, no, king, you can't have this planet because we're on a rebel moon. And then like, they
And then the
fight.
Borg Queen comes in.
Did they
and
actually
then-
say we're in a rebel moon? That did. I did
No,
not
they
hear
did
that
not
line.
say that.
No.
Oh,
They did not say
okay.
that.
There's some. We're in a. He looks at the camera. Rebel moon.
Star
Yeah.
Wars. It's Star Wars, Harry Potter, and Dune wrapped together.
That's right.
It felt
And some
very
Firefly
Dune.
for good measure.
I
It
felt
did
the
look a
Dune
little like
vibes.
Dune.
It did look like Dune. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
In his defense, it didn't feel like Star Wars to me at all.
No. Yeah, from this perspective, I am glad that they said no, that it does seem like it is something completely different, with the exception of the lightsabers that we saw. That were definitely lightsabers.
I think it's funny how we see Snyder flexing his Owls of Ga'Hoole energy into the Griffins for this movie. For those who don't know, he directed the Owls of Ga'Hoole. The Owls.
No one remembers exists.
I have no idea
Legends
what that
of the
is.
Guardians. The Owls of
It's a
Ga'Hoole,
movie
starring
about
Elijah
owls.
Wood.
Nope, means nothing to me.
No.
Okay, so how do we feel about the two-parter?
Sure, I don't want that.
I don't want that.
I
I know why Netflix did. I don't want it.
I don't
think it
I
needs
don't
to be
mind
two
two-parters.
parts.
I mean, I don't know the story.
Why don't they just make it a TV show?
Yeah,
Like at that point, just make it like a
lot more
4-episode show.
something
I'm
like
down
that.
with
Yeah,
that.
you get like one season. Was it a limited run season or something?
Yeah.
Like one season of a show.
This could
That's
be their
fine.
So we were just talking about Watchmen. This could be their Watchmen, right? Like a limited one season, like 4-episode thing. Give it to me all at once.
Yeah, that would be. I just thought it would make more sense because then one is in the winter or fall, I guess, and then the next one comes out in the spring, the following year.
Change.
It's like having a show with one of those weird season breaks, mid-season breaks or something like that. I hate that. I hate that so much. Just like,
Yeah, I
let
do
me
too.
binge the show and get it over with, and then we're done.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping you from binging
So-
the show. Just wait till it ends.
Kyle, you mentioned the CG looks rough. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm
there's
like
just
watching this right now. I think
There's a
you're,
few
I think you're
scenes where
high.
your characters are absolutely not mixing with the backgrounds and even some of the effects. But I heard someone throw out the word stylized during the reaction, and that could be what it is. I didn't go back through and look at it. It was just, and if it's stylized, I hate it when people make things. Rodriguez has done it many times, but where it's like, I don't care that it doesn't blend. I want it to not blend. I don't like that, but I'm not making the film. So if it's a stylized thing, then it is what it is. But you know,
As long as it's not
that's all I
Flash,
saw.
I'm okay with your style.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Any
right,
last
moving
words
on?
about Rebel Moon?
Move on.
Nope.
All right, so we got some One Piece news because you know me.
Don't do that.
I love my One
Don't
Piece.
do that.
And I
Don't
can't
talk into the mic
do
like
what?
this is sexy time. This is just some bullshit all you love.
This is actually how he does sexy time.
You know what's funny
One
is I
Piece.
feel like 2 years ago when you started reading One Piece, you seemed to like it, and the more I mention now, the more it seems like you hated it every growing second.
It's
I
not
can't
that I hate
wait
it.
Back up
until
off
we
your mic
actually.
a
It's
bit,
not that I
Jammer.
hate it. Just tell them to back
It's
off
not
the
that you
mic.
hate it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that I hate
But-
it. I'm not going to get to chapter 276. Which one?
Yes, you are.
What chapter?
We're
did you
gonna
say
we're
was?
doing it. We're doing
You said- is it
we're doing it together.
276?
Jonesy,
Did you say
we're doing it together.
276? That's
We're doing it
not
together,
gonna happen.
Jonesy. I'll read it with you.
Whatever the hook that you think.
I'll read over your
happens, it's
shoulder.
not-
I'll read it.
it's
I'll
just
read.
not
I'll read it at
gonna
night.
happen. It's just
You know, at bed, in
gonna
bed,
happen.
in bed. There you go.
You know what story I like? Have you read Saga?
Saga. Oh, that.
You're
No.
Kevin, Vaughn, and Fiona. Crap.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Fiona.
I have Christine, and I have.
What'd you think?
Fuck yes.
Hooked from the first first book,
why,
right?
Why is that not an animated series? Why is that not an
See?
anime?
There
Why
we
is
go.
that?
Here we
Dude,
go.
Saga is the shit, man. Holy fuck! I
See?
haven't heard someone mention that in years.
Really?
Listen,
I hear it all
listen.
the time. People love Saga.
I had never heard anybody. I know one other person
Really?
that talks about it.
You know the.
I mean, I used to go in animation circles, and I feel like everybody who talked about Saga was great. It was like always mentioned in like the same sentences as like Fable.
It's awesome.
Fables.
It's awesome. Jonesy, you know the babysitter, right? Christine has the shirt that she has in the comic. Like,
Oh, really?
yes, and she got that at Comic-Con 08, 09? No. New York in 16. That's what I meant. Sorry,
See?
New York 16.
This is what I'm talking
Totally.
about. This is what I'm talking about. See?
Well, this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about One Piece right now. So One Piece is a live action show. It's coming out next week on the 31st. And it got some initial reactions via X. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about a few of those. So Megan Peters from comicbook.com, she said, the news is out. I've seen Netflix's One Piece, and while I cannot say much, I can say I could say this before all my coverage goes live. I've watched season 1 several times now. It is good. So,
do you know? I'm just curious. I'm always curious what somebody's relationship to
I know she's a big fan of One Piece and has been for decades.
Because
she's like me
again.
She's a lifetimer.
Going back to Cowboy Bebop,
seriously, I've been watching One Piece since early high school. Early high school, since sophomore year in high school. And I'm like 1,000 years old, people on the internet. So it's been a while.
I feel like One Piece is one of the things that somebody wanted me to read when I was 5, but I was like 20 when I started reading it. And it's just not. What?
I'm sorry?
That analogy doesn't work.
I was like, Jonesy, I'm pretty sure you're like 5 years older than I am. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Next one comes from Daniel Dockery, who I've interviewed. He wrote called Monster Kids. It's about Pokemon. Anyway.
Did he freeze?
Froze. Janet's frozen.
How's he frozen?
I don't
know.
I
was
just
internet
about
as
to
I am.
ask. Aren't you in the same house?
Tell him he's frozen.
Joe?
Before I take a screenshot.
Damn it!
There we go.
Taking the screenshot.
Just came back.
Fuck you. Came back. Okay, so Mo Husen of the streamer, who is the first person that we've talked about so far.
No, you were on the kids. You were on the Monster Kids one.
Oh, Monster Kids. Okay, so Crunchyroll's Daniel Dockery, who I interviewed. I talked about him. Yeah, Monster Kids. He wrote Monster Kids. It's about Pokemon. It's great. It's a great book. Anyways, he says, I can't say much, and I'll be writing a ton about it later, but I've seen a live action One Piece in its entirety, and y'all, it's good. Mo Husen of the streamer said, having seen all 8 episodes of Netflix's upcoming One Piece and having minimal exposure to the source material, I can say that this is the show fans of live action manga and or anime adaptations have wanted. This is the real deal. The dynamic camera work with slick VFX, a killer cast, and an understanding of story, that's in all caps, and specifically how to write, direct, and produce big-budget episodic media. This will hopefully stand tall to be remembered as king of the Netflix shows. Oh, yeah.
Which is a joke because he wants to be king of the pirates. Wait, didn't that person say he isn't close with the comic book?
Well, if you watched it, he says it like in the first episode.
Are you saying that you in order to you're like, oh, no one else knows that he says I'm going to be king of the pirates? That is strictly
that's right
for hardcore
it's in the first
fans
trailer.
Only.
You know what I don't remember?
It's like he's a poser. What a poser!
I was just curious.
Wildy Patrol says, as someone who has become more familiar with the anime in the past year, now that's a poser. Become more familiar with the manga. I have to say I was pleasantly surprised to see the series brought to life with so much love. The scale of the show is vast. So much dedication was put in just about every aspect of it. And then comicbook.com's Evan Valentine. I've seen Netflix's One Piece thing confirmed.
We're going to do all of them?
It does. I'm done. It's the last one. This is the last one, Jonesy.
Okay.
It does the source material justice, and then some. I think anime fans and newcomers to the Grand Line will be surprised at what the show has to offer. This is not Cowboy Bebop. Cannot stress that enough.
That's what I need to hear.
There you go.
I'm in. I'm all in. 100% in.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to find any reviews that were even slightly negative, or were you just not looking?
Well,
for
I did
them?
notice a pattern. I noticed a lot of people saying good, not great. A lot of good. So I imagine it's going to be pretty good, but it's probably not going to be over the moon, which I think is fitting because to me, the series doesn't get great until what the equivalent of season 4.
What? Season 4? Not episode 4? Season 4?
I mean,
he's
it's not
one of
really
those
seasons.
fans.
You know how many
It's
episodes?
like just watch
anime
100 episodes and then you'll really like it.
Anime
Yeah,
get 3
no.
episodes. That's it.
Well, apparently
That's
it's good. It's good.
We'll find out next week.
Anyway, one other thing that I want to also share is that one big part of the world building in this One Piece universe are the transponder snails, or the Den Mushis as they are called, and they are used as a means to they're basically can be used as phones, they can be used as projectors, they can be used as megaphones, and they got revealed in recent images. They're very creepy. So a lot of times when you have a transponder snail that someone uses, it's dressed up and made to look like the person who it belongs to. So there's one that you could see with a Navy person, Garp, who's actually there, and you could see that it has like a beard. It looks kind of like the transponder. Oh shit, that is kind of a spoiler.
Wow.
It's such a well-known fact. I forget that it was a spoiler. It was revealed like 15 years ago.
Oh my
anyway,
god.
In season 5 or something like that. 6.
At the end of
probably
season
season
4.
like 10.
4.
Oh my
calm
God.
down.
Right.
I'm just referring to arcs,
No.
by the way, or sagas. But anyways, you can see it has his little beard. It kind of looks like him. There's another one I think is cute. They're feeding it some iceberg lettuce, which is cute. Except the teeth and the lips, they look horrifying.
So they didn't have teeth in in the manga?
I mean, they do, but it's different when it's in comic form versus live action. I was like, I feel like I could have done without the lips and the teeth. Like they could have made them without like the fat
Dentures,
lips,
basically.
Without the
And, like,
lipstick
just made
and
it-
lip jobs.
Yeah, without the Botox injections. I could have done without that. Is that what they do? Where they pump lips?
No,
Is that
it's
what they do?
filler. No.
Filler.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck
No.
I'm talking about.
It looks like it got into a fight with a vacuum cleaner and lost. It's like just
There you go.
yeah. And the lips.
But
are
as I would
just
call it, it's
huge.
stylized, right, Kyle?
Oh yeah,
It
the
is a
lips. They don't
stylized
have lips
transponder.
in the anime.
Yeah,
Like their lips are just it's just like a line. This is very stylized.
Weird.
this is a creative liberty.
it's
They are taking
weird.
Liberty. Creative liberty.
liberty.
Good
Oh
one.
my god, you're okay. Anyways,
I am a father.
is anyone else more excited other than Jonesy for One Piece, having heard some of the reviews? Oh wait, Larice, what are your thoughts on One Piece? Where are you sitting at? What do you know about this series, and do you care?
Nothing. I know nothing about the series at all, but just based on the way that you described it, I am not looking forward to it.
Really?
Maybe it was just because of the way that you described it, but
I didn't pitch it very well.
you didn't.
You never do.
You
No.
You didn't. Not at all.
So
I'm expecting it to be good based on your comments.
Or good.
Or good, but
I'm still
possibly
expecting
not
it to be
great
weird.
until I'm a great grandmother. So
It's
when's
definitely gonna be
when's
weird.
y'all's anniversary? Kirsten Jammer, when's your anniversary?
Next month.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get one of those giant snails for your anniversary? Just gonna exchange.
Kirsten.
Like get
He
someone
is
to dress up
dragging
to
me to
look like you
Japan
all.
for our anniversary.
Yeah.
Aw,
So you might be
poor
able to find
you.
one of these.
I know, poor thing.
I'm actually very
Pobrecita.
excited, but
yeah, right.
Well, I wonder if they're selling transponder snail.
Are you guys gonna go to the
Wonder what
manga
you're about to say.
museum while you're out there?
we were gonna go
think
to
so.
he's gonna yell at me, Ghibli Museum.
Oh,
Yeah.
To the right.
It's close enough.
It takes
That's
all my
correct.
effort to not say Ghibli. The Ghibli
It's not
Museum. But it's sold out like months ago. Like the
Wow.
entire 2 weeks we're there, it's sold out. Which is
There
just,
was
like,
a-
crazy.
Find other things to do.
Where in Japan is it?
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Mm. We went to a manga museum in Kyoto. That was pretty cool. I don't even know if it's there anymore.
It's in
That was
Kyoto,
like-
Kirsten. Oh hell yeah! Now we
I
gotta
You can
years
go
go.
ago.
there.
It was like 10 years ago. It was amazing. It
As
was like
long as he
5
takes me to
stories.
ramen, I'm happy. I
Yes.
just want
Oh,
ramen.
yeah.
Apparently, we can't eat the fish while we're there because they're releasing Fukushima water into the ocean. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But there was a Ghibli like pop-up here in Korea, and it was pretty amazing. So if they do have anything like that, maybe if you can't get tickets to actually get into the museum, if they have like an associated or affiliated like pop-up or something nearby, even just like a cafe, that would be fun. I think it'd be fun. It was cool.
I'm looking at these snails again. These are creepies.
They're
okay. I think we're done. I think we're done with this episode. Go ahead. So thank you all so much for listening. If you like what you listen to, any specific segment, just give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you love us or like us. I guess there's no heart, so just like us. We would greatly appreciate it. That we're good. Let us know that we're good. Please let us know with a nice solid like. We would appreciate it. Helps us get known to the other parts of the internet that we're slowly trying to break into. And we'll be back probably next week with another episode of the series. But of course, this isn't the only show we have on the Genreverse Podcast Network. We have several podcasts for your viewing and listening pleasure. So definitely check out the channel. Click the little channel button at some point and just find us. Find all the things that we create for all of you. But until next time, hasta lasagna.
Don't get in on it.